Should I sell, cash out, pay the big tax bill, but keep 500,000 on a flip? Or do you think it's a better move to refinance it, put some debt on it, and then cash flow this thing 10 grand a month, carry it for a while, maybe sell it later, maybe just keep cash flowing it, doing rental or Airbnb? Welcome back to part 4 on this video walkthrough series we're doing here on this massive luxury rehab I'm doing here in Paradise Valley, Arizona. And we have done a lot to this property since the last part 3 series. And so I want to do a quick walkthrough, show you all the things we're done. We're at about the, 90% mark here to completion. So it's really exciting to kind of see it rounding that corner and getting close to completion. So come on, let's go check it out.
For a limited time, you can get a free copy of Jerry Norton's Deal Analyzer software, which runs the numbers on any property for you in seconds. Get it now at mydealanalyzer.com.
So if this is your first time here, I'm Jerry Norton. I make millions of dollars a year flipping houses, and I teach you how to do the same here on my channel. So if you want to become a flipping genius like me, subscribe and follow my videos. And to start here, let's start on the outside here. We've done quite a bit to the exterior. We did all new pavers. This was a dirt driveway when we bought this property. It had no driveway. And you can see now all of this paver in here made a huge difference to the look and feel as you come in. We've got new gates coming in the front door, and you pull in, you see all this brand new paver. And then it does not feel like it does not seem like it, but this 2-car garage right here is an addition. It only was a 2-car, and we added on this second 2-car section, making it a full 4-car garage, which was a really big decision we had to make. It was an important decision. It was the right decision because this is a 6,000 square foot house. This is a really high-end neighborhood here of Paradise Valley. There are 10 and $15 million homes right on this street. So to not have a driveway and only have a 2-car garage was really hurting us on our values. So that was a big move and a good move to do. And as you can see, it feels like it's part of the original house. We had to re-stucco and tied it right in and matched it with the existing garage. And something really cool we did here was garage doors were like 6 months out. So we actually had our finished carpenter, who we have on payroll, he actually made our garage doors. So these are custom made garage doors. Cost us about $10,000 to have these garage doors made. But high-end garage doors where I think were going to cost us double or triple that and then wait 6 months. So it was a really cool solution to get our garage doors done. And so that's kind of the outside. We'll take a look at the back of the house. We did quite a bit in the landscaping in the back. We still need to clean up the front of this a bit from, when we did the paver, we moved all the dirt around. So we'll do some landscaping here. Like I said, new gates in the front. But then if you come this way, we go into this kind of walkway here. And this is like one of the favorite things about this property is you kind of come through these doors that open up into this courtyard. Our paver, we followed all the way in here, and you got this really nice, private, mature, closed-in courtyard. And what's cool is we added this door here. It goes to that side of the house. We added another door here, which goes to the office. So you have this separate entrance. These weren't here. This door wasn't there. That door wasn't there. And so it's kind of made this a really nice space that you'll want to come out here. It's really shaded. Just love this space. Really turned out well. And then you come through here, this front door. Now, if you remember from the other videos, we've got this like teak wood or wormwood or whatever they call this. It's a really, really unique type of wood, imported, and it kind of gives this house a really special character that you don't see, everywhere. So you come in this front door, and we did like a whitewash on this brick. It had like this red brick up here. That turned out really well. We went ahead and painted this wood, this black, to create that contrast with the black and then white. And so we've done that in a lot of places. You'll notice here as we go through the house, you'll see this like wood up above the windows. This used to be on all of these, it showed this wood, and it kind of created like this little indentation, and we call it mushroom. It kind of had like this mushroom top, and we just did not like the way that looked. It just didn't look right. It kind of rounded. Everything we're doing is more squared. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually drywall this. So this is just filler. It's gonna be drywall, and then we'll go back to a square kind of trim look. So we've done a couple of them. So if you look at maybe like this window, it'll look like that. This had the same thing. So this one's done. So it'll be more of a squared off kind of window look. And so that's something that a change we just recently made to kind of change that look and feel of a lot of these windows. And this original floor plan was crazy. This was a wall right here, ran a big header, opened this up. It had another wall right here. So it was like three separate rooms. Another wall here, headered this off, opened this whole space up. And then this wasn't here, ran a header. If you go back to what video, part 2 video, I think, we actually show putting in this big header and these doors going out to the patio and the pool, and then created this totally open feel here. So you see most of our cabinets are in right now. We got this massive island. Just beautiful how this turned out. You got your sink right here. He's working there on the hood. We're gonna have like wolf range and sub-zero freezer and fridge, double ovens right here. And then just again, that new construction, open concept, recessed lighting. This is kind of fun over here. It's like this little breakfast nook type thing. So you got these windows in here. Again, more of this whitewash brick. That's like that original character of the house. Painted all these windows black. And when you stand back here and you look that way, you just see how massive and open this space is all the way through. There's quite a bit of the fireplaces. I think we've got, a couple different fireplaces. The fireplace was all rounded, so we did quite a bit of work to square off those corners, make them more tight edges. We're not sure how we like this. Leave a comment and share your opinion. We stained that, like that wormwood. You can see it kind of bleed through. It's got that whitewash look. We may have gone a little too dark on these beams. Those were like a much lighter, kind of like the front door is what those were before. I kind of like it. I feel like it gives a good contrast, especially with the black windows. Maybe it's a little too dark. We'll have to kind of see, I don't know, how we like it when we're all done. If we need to, we can restain. All the wood floors are in, so we get the wide, I think they're like 8-inch wood floors. They're covered right now, but wood floors throughout the entire house. If we head back, let's see, maybe we go this side first. This here we framed in and put this half bath. This was like a little, I think it was like a little kitchenette was right here before. So now this will be like the main powder for this first floor here, main area here. This is now the office. So there's that door that goes out. Again, we're gonna square up these windows and doors here. But this will now be like, an official office. So it's a 4-bedroom with an office is this house, 6,000 square feet. So if we go back this way, we've got our kitchen here. We come around this corner. There's one garage there. That's the first existing garage. We've got our laundry. Most all our cabinets are in on the laundry. Coming over here, right off the kitchen, we've got this really big pantry. So we got all our built-ins pretty much done in here for the pantry. And then as we come down this side of the house, we've got a couple bedrooms over here. So you'll come this way and you'll have bedroom, garage. And all the bedrooms have ensuite bathrooms. That's what that buyer wants. So every bedroom has a bathroom, and you can see, well, lights aren't in, but you've got all the tiles in. Most of the cabinets are in. Again, squaring off that window. That's this bedroom. We got another bedroom right here, kind of facing the front. Again, another ensuite bathroom, closet. And then this door goes out to that new garage. So this is the additional garage right there. Okay, now if we head back to the other side of the house, we've got the master and then our 4th bedroom over there. So again, here's our kitchen, laundry, garage, come back through this hallway, office, main entrance in. Okay, that's the master. So let's go this way first. So we come down this hallway. Now we're crossing through the courtyard, and this is where we added that second door. And the reason why is this space here is our 4th bedroom, but it's also like a second master or a casita guest house. So you can have your own entrance, and then you'll come in here, and you can see you got this big open space here, another fireplace, you got the beams, a kitchenette in case this is like a guest house. You got a little kitchenette right here. And then you've got your own master, second master bathroom. So you got big shower, double sinks, double vanity. You got your toilet. And then if you turn that way, this would be like your closet space. So you got these cabinets in here. This, we're gonna do some shelving in this room. So it truly is a second master. Or it could be a game room, like you could put a pool table in here, and this be a great entertaining space. So we call this a flex room. We do a lot of this when we do big square footage, where you're kind of like, well, would a buyer want 3 bedrooms and a game room? Would they want a 4th bedroom? Do they want a casita? What do they want? Let's create a space that gives them some options. So this could make an awesome like rec room with a pool table, or again, it could be another master as well, or a guest house. So that's this room. Again, the ceilings, we'll see if we keep this stain. I don't know. I kind of like it. It is quite a contrast, so we'll kind of see how it turns out. Heading back this way, the last space we want to look at is the master. Okay, so we come in here, another fireplace, big open master, doors out to the patio, which we'll go check that out in a second. Hot tub right there. And then this is kind of cool. It has like this exercise room. Or this could be like another office. We've got the main office, but this could be like a his and her, second office. Probably more like an exercise room though. And again, another door out to the back right there. So kind of a cool room off the master here. And then this is the bathroom. So you come in here and you got this sink space here, which is kind of cool because that's like extra. Then you got a total his and her. So we had to redesign this space here, but you got a closet. Let's say this is her side, her closet, her counter, her toilet, tub here in the middle, and then same thing over here. His closet, his sink, his toilet, and then shower, or however you want to do it. But it's kind of split up his and hers with that space here. You can see here though, like most of our cabinets are in, our floors are in, our tiles in. We've got to do base. We've got to fix some of these drywall things that we're working on. We got to do light fixtures. But things are moving really fast now. We're hoping that, in another couple weeks or a month, we'll have this place pretty close to buttoned up. Assuming we can just wrap it up. We got our appliances already, those got to go in. So now let's go out and look at this space in the backyard. We did all new paver or tile. So we retiled all of this covered back patio here. And you can see we really left this and are trying to draw out a lot of this teak wood, or I forget what they call this, but this really kind of cool wood look. But this has all been replaced with new tile in here. We redid all this rock for this, retention. All of this tile back here going into the pool. And then the pool is getting refinished. That's the last thing to do is the pool. So we really wanted to make sure that we had our backyard, updated as well. So we're putting in all new, landscaping throughout the house. So this will look really nice once we get the pool done and kind of all the rest of the landscaping. And so that's kind of the house. What's interesting here is, every single one of these videos, this is the 4th one. The first 3, I would throw out numbers on our rehab, our sale price, all those numbers just keep moving. We'll be in this project now almost a year in March. So we've been in about 10 months as of this recording. And, our budget's been all over the place. It's going to come in around $1 million on the rehab. Bought it for 1.8, so all in for about 2.8. And then the back number's been constantly moving too. Luckily for us, it's been moving up. We feel like now the back end on this house is 4.5. So I'm all in for 2.8, selling for 4.5. But I'm really, really considering not selling and instead keeping this property. I can get a refinance on this property, get back all my cash. So I can do a refinance, get out my $3 million, carry a loan for around, $13,000, $14,000 a month. This thing will long-term rent for $20,000, $25,000 a month. So I could cash flow this thing 10 grand a month, get all my cash back, retain my equity. If I sell it, I'm going to get hit with a massive tax bill. Half of it's going to go to taxes, because I'll make $1 million on this thing. Or I can also Airbnb. Airbnb will go, $2 grand a night so I'll get 30, 40,000 in the peak season if I do Airbnb on this property. High rental area, high destination area. There's a lot of people right now at this price point that'll pay that kind of money that are displaced because they're building or they're in between moving. So getting somebody for a month or 2 months, 3 months, paying 20, 25 grand a month, or $2 grand a night doing Airbnb, this house can totally do that. There's no HOA, there's no zoning against it. I'd love to hear your opinion. What do you think I should do? Should I sell, cash out, pay the big tax bill, but keep $500,000 on a flip? Or do you think it's a better move to refinance it, put some debt on it? I'll get all my cash out so I'm not out anything, and then cash flow this thing 10 grand a month, carry it for a while, maybe sell it later, maybe just keep cash flowing it, doing rental or Airbnb. Love to hear your opinion. Leave a comment, let me know. And thanks for joining me on this walkthrough. We're gonna do probably one more video when it's all done. Hopefully you can see then the final finished product. We are gonna stage this thing. If I decide to keep it, then we'll furnish it, because it'll really rent a lot better if it's furnished. So the idea here is fully furnished, and you get that buyer that'll just pay that $20,000, $25,000 a month to rent this house. Again, location specific. You can't pull this off anywhere. This is a prime location that will get that $20,000, $25,000 a month or $2,000 a night. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm not sure which way I'm going to go with that. I got to make a decision real quick here because we're rounding the corner and finishing up. So let me know your thoughts. Thanks for joining me on this video. I'll see you next time.